Thank you for tuning in to What is a Little Girl Supposed to Do? I am here with my co-host, Balinda Olive Beltran. And excuse me if it seems like I'm kind of a little stuttering, a little flustered because of the fact the guest that we have with us today, I have grew up listening to this man's voice that came through so powerful through the radios. And I know that he's our guest, but I feel like I'm a fan. And I feel so special to be sitting here in the presence of the Reverend J.W. Friday. Thank you for coming in and tuning in with us here at What is the Little Girl Supposed to Do? I feel so special to have you here on our podcast show.
I'm humbled to be here. This is big to me, so I guess I'll use some big words. I am elephantly glad and hippopotamously happy to be here with you guys on today. I mean to tell you. This is something to both of you. I know about you. I know what you guys have been doing, and I'm just honored to be here. And also, I guess that let the record show this is my first podcast. So yeah,
really,
yeah, I'll take this as a number one. Why not? In a great season of new beginnings. Yeah, how about that?
Love it.
Yeah. Okay.
Love it.
Right.
Love it. Love it.
Glad to be in the house with you guys.
Right.
Mm.
And is there anything that you want to share with the audience? Your background, what you've been doing with the life, and
Sure, I want to share my Venmo account. No. Look, this is the terminology of the time. I don't understand how money. I don't know if it's Bitcoin or Zipcoin. I'm not quite sure, but I know that it translates into dollars. But been around for a while. This is the new sense of media as we're within a podcast, but coming from the old-fashioned form of 911 now, because when the lights go out and television can't pick up a reception, you will again return to the radio. So it started with radio, and got caught up in what they call the retina display now, but then it was television.
Okay.
And took a look at that and realized that it was something that was created, and it looked like it was a whole house, but really it was a door held up by a sandbag.
Okay.
With someone coming with a sound effect like everything was all right outside. So within that false narrative, if you will, we realized it was a great point of expression. So learned a little bit about it, had opportunity to dig into it, and kind of stayed the way over the years. Kind of had opportunities on cable access and national programs as well. So just glad to be here, you know what I'm saying? But more so community than anything else. More so community. So
beautiful. Thank you for
Absolutely.
Glad to be in the
being here.
house.
We appreciate you. And today, the hot topic is we're living in a very dangerous time
Yeah.
in 2024.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And mental illness
Oh.
is at the top of the list.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It's at the top of the list.
It's at the top of the list,
Yes.
and it comes in so many forms.
Yes.
It's not a limited perspective. Oh, well, this I'm having a tough day today. It gets deep.
Right.
It gets deep, and we are, as we've already discussed, and it can get very dark at times.
Yes.
So obviously we're leading up to a question.
Yes. Yes. Well, the question is, what can we do to help others understand what they're going through and why they're going through it and how it can be eliminated?
Wow, that's quite a question, and I'm sure it's something that should really come up every day for those that work within this venue of mental health, personal health. As we were talking about the other day, what Sis tell me? She said, I'm taking a self day.
Yes.
I'm going to do some things for self.
Right.
Yes.
And that's a good habit because in some cases, and we talked about some of the other scenarios which are really rather devastating. It's that self-care, how people have been treated over time.
Right.
Yes.
Pressure we learned during COVID.
Yes.
It brought out a lot of mental health issues.
Right.
That we had one with another, and in particularly family members,
Yes.
that we didn't know anything about because we were captive, one with another. Where before we could at least leave,
Yes.
Right.
and then closing the door wasn't enough. You couldn't
Right.
just go down the basement. You couldn't take a ride.
Right.
You were just in there and you had to deal with it.
Right.
That term "till death do us part." it brought on a whole new meaning.
Yes.
As my friend said, and God rest his soul, one day he and his spouse were getting into it, and he was a funny guy, and he would always crack a joke as she went out the door, something derogatory, and she had learned over the years to get her own, combative arrayment of things to say as she went out the door. Man, she hit him with a good one going out the door, and just before the door closed, his expression was, "Everything will lead to the basement." And I couldn't stop laughing, man. So, understand, I say it humorously to understand that, first of all, this is not a laughing matter in any way, shape, or form.
Yes.
We can drive down the street and take a look at the Max line and take a look at what's just going on
Right.
on the Max by itself.
Yes.
Right.
Man.
The things that people are going through.
Right.
You can walk through downtown Portland and see individuals off of their medication.
Yes.
And if you didn't know better, you would think they were walking down the street having a conversation with an army.
Yes.
Right.
Because there is an army within them.
Absolutely.
And they're all trying to, I'll use this as a preacher, capture their soul, if you
Yes.
will. And in a nutshell, their souls are broken.
Right.
Yes.
Because of different circumstances
That's right.
and the pressures
That's
of
right.
that.
Yes.
It's like a concussion you know nothing about.
Right.
Yes. You're right.
Right.
So
Yes.
yeah, we're on the right page tonight,
Yes.
or should I say today, or let's do it in international time, worldwide.
Yes.
It needs to be addressed and not just talked about,
Yes.
to get lost. And we talked about this when we first thought about coming this way. Recovery.
Yes.
Yes. So what do you think about that? Is because here in Portland, we've changed everything, the laws, where the accountability for dangerous drug possession is less than a pat on the hand, because recovery wants another opportunity
Right.
to prove itself where it has failed in the past.
That's right.
Because you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink.
That's right.
And then it comes down to operating as some school districts operate during the year. As long as they have X amount of students at this level, they receive that compensation for, dealing with those students. And as long as those students remain there till a specific date, the school will continue to get their money. But if they leave before that, they lose by every child that they mess up with. And unfortunately, whether you like what I said or not, that's how recovery has been operating over the years, because they receive so much funding to address so many individuals to a certain point, because it's like, we got our money. And then all of a sudden, the concern goes out the door with the money.
Yes.
It's like, churches are the same way. So somebody's saying, but churches are the same way. Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But also let me say, not all. Not all.
Right.
And I would venture to say that this is a conversation for not all.
Yes.
Not all that are ready to lay down, not all that are ready to give up. And that's, our conversation was a story about someone that didn't give up.
Yes. That's
So
right.
so within that, here we are. I'm just excited that you're bringing it up.
Yes. Yes.
That you can address it.
Yes. Yes.
So I guess, wow, this is really funny. I know it's your podcast, but I guess I can throw this around
Yes.
because it's mother and daughter.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So look at this. Wow, he just flipped the script, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
How did we get here? The wounds of getting here. How did we get here? That would be the question. And I'm gonna and in that I'll start, Mom, how did we get here?
How did we get here?
Uh-huh.
We got here. It's been a journey.
Yes.
It's been a journey.
Absolutely.
And it's something that definitely need to be talked about.
Mm-hmm.
The mental illness.
Yeah.
The mental illness, the mental wellness versus sometimes we're misdiagnosed.
Ooh, okay. Okay.
We are misdiagnosed.
Mm-hmm.
And I can honestly say that was one of my problems, how I got involved with the mental illness situation.
But let's see. So we're around the same age. So we find ourselves dealing with the capacities of the 50s and the 60s, and how that came apart. And then we have to look also at the nightmares of the different places that called themselves to be a safe place, even to the sanitariums, if you will,
Yes.
and the nightmares that were going on there, and the experimental drugs and things like that, and not realizing that. And I can speak to that because I've had to take some different things being healed, and realize that one healing hasn't come out of your body yet before they hit you with something else. And then those two combined take you somewhere you don't want to go. And then nobody understands why you're going, even though they pointed you in that direction and pushed you that way and told you that was it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So within that, we know that it was that it's tough on you because I'll just use the term, it originates. We'll use that moment.
Yes.
It originates here, but also as I can just slightly turn my head to a daughter. How did we get here?
Right.
How did we get here? Did you see all of this
Did I see
that mom was going through? Did you see this?
Yes.
Amen. You did?
They were young.
Yeah.
I seen my my mom. We experienced when my mom was on the medication. There was like there was times, there were different situations. I know one particular time my mom, the medication she was on, it had my mom's eyes rolled. Her eyes were like rolling. They were like this.
Okay.
They were up.
Yeah.
And they were. I think they were stuck like that.
Yeah, they were stuck. The medication caused that.
So when I came home from school, me and my brother, she opened up the door and her eyes were that way. And then I came inside the house and I was looking, like what was my mom?
What's she looking up at?
What's she looking
What's
at?
on the ceiling?
Right.
Yeah.
And she just said, I can't put my eyes down. It's from the medicine. So being, my mom,
Right,
and I feel that I'm a protector of my mom. And I've been like that since I was a little girl that I can remember. When your parent is doing things that is not what, I can't say normal, but what you've been used to your mom doing, I knew that my mom wasn't feeling good.
Right.
And so I remember that last time when we were at Providence Hospital.
Yes.
Sometimes too, your family or people that you love, they don't understand what the medicine is taking your loved one through. They don't understand when they say that they're hearing voices. Those voices, they're hearing the voices. There was a time that I was sad and depressed and going through stuff. My mom would always tell me, don't take the medicine. Whatever it is you're going through, we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
And I was just, some things that I was going through, I was like, kind of like, maybe my mom's not going to really understand, or even being embarrassed to tell her some things that I had experienced. So I experienced with the medicine myself.
Right.
And the medicine, the voices, when people say the voices, they're real.
Oh, notably.
And they're loud, and
Notably.
they tell you things, and it's so clear and it's so loud, like it's someone sitting right there.
Yeah, and to them they can't hear it, called the delusionary.
Yeah.
But then again, it's an induced state.
It is.
That's what they're running for fentanyl, because the feeling is an induced state.
Yes.
And people are trying to escape.
Right.
But this challenge, that we go through, as Sis has already spoken to, misdiagnosis, and I'd have to say a fear of the unknown. And then as a child, to witness it and know that there's something wrong. His eyes were stuck up, but I've seen people that their eyes have actually crossed, and they're like that.
Yeah.
That's happened to me a couple of times, not knowing what was going on, and my eyes crossed, and it seemed like the muscles didn't want to release to let them come back. But that happens as we gotten older. So,
Right.
That wasn't in our younger days. But the challenge for this, what what kind of steps, because we don't have time to get into the depths. I mean, when we talked, we got into the depths of your story, Mom.
Yes.
You know, and it's funny because we all grew up around each other. We're not strangers one to another in any kind of way.
Yes.
You know, even as we speak right now, brothers out there, dear friend of mine for many, many years, you know, going back to 56 Chevys and stuff like that. You know, so there's a lot of love. There's a lot of love in the atmosphere.
Yes.
But that's what we need to bring out, the love, so that we can bring some correction.
Yes.
To the misdirection.
That's right.
You know, misdiagnosis is part of misdirection, misunderstanding, you know, misgivings, you know what I'm saying, missteps. And we always, when people through mental illness have done some things. I mean, even in our own fair city right now, we've recently had a stabbing on the Max line.
Right.
And the individual said he heard a voice say, "Get him."
Right.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
He said that the voice told him that the person was going to kill him.
Right.
Look.
And
he heard
he heard that, and he believed that.
Hey, and he acted on that.
Man.
And the rest, you know, it can be fatal, but it's definitely detrimental not only to the individual, not only to the perpetrator, but think about those that ride in that compartment. You know, and it's always been rather hairy to begin with. But then even if we dare to go to New York in the subways, there's a lot of things that are going on in those traveling compartments, if you will.
Right.
And a lot of people are being assaulted. But let us come back to what we can do, because obviously our intelligence has been insulted. What can we use? And I say that openly. What is it that we can do right now? And we thank God for survival.
Yes.
Because you're a survivor.
Yes.
You both are survivors.
That's right.
You know, we can speak to the illness, and we can speak to how it has affected our families.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And I can speak to how it's affected our community, because I can walk you out there right now and show you some folk. I saw a dude hitting one of the craziest steps behind that new thing that bends you over and have you leaning and all of that. And he got up and went somewhere. But it's something to behold. And I want to ask the question, how is it that we can see all of this going down and don't hold our city officials accountable for being asleep at the wheel? Because the Pacific Northwest, they're coming from all across the country to put themselves in dire jeopardy because we have no laws.
That's right.
So noting that we don't have any laws, what can we do for them that stand in need of mental health assistance? You know, they're just getting the drug for overdoses out there, slowly but surely. But what can we do for those folk? Is there a mobile truck or something? I mean, try to, since we go into all the areas with everything else, you know, so that they can have their meds.
There should be actually hospitals for people to go.
Right.
I know they close.
They're closing. I was about to say they're closing everything, aren't they?
They're closing them. But reality is, a person that's dealing with mental illness, to give them a tent to call their home out in the wilderness. Let's keep it real.
As if they're not already in the wilderness. Okay,
Yes.
okay.
So giving a person a tent that is mentally ill, that's on drugs, they need help. They cannot make a decision on their own about how their life should be and what is needed. Someone needs to step up to the plate and make a decision on truly helping these people get off the street, but they need care.
Consistent care.
Yes, they need. You just can't. No.
Just drop the bag off and leave. No, I mean, where's the consistency? And as they're screaming in the recovery world right now with all of this, that we want another chance, extend this to continue to, we're seeing a change. Well, it's not just about what you're seeing on paper, because that's easy. What we're seeing in the streets, in the actualities of what's going on. There's not just a visual that's bad. There's an aroma that's bad.
Right.
You know, that goes along with it. So in this push for awareness, mental health, imperative. And we never think about that till we get, well, I'm older. Now, Alzheimer's is setting in. You know, the different physicalities is setting in. and we're wondering what resources will be available to us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Other than a cremation plan, you know,
Right.
other than that, what's going to be available? But I'm looking at, because let's say we're of age, but there are teenagers that are going through what we're talking
That's
about.
right.
You know, they've come through some type of abuse along the
Yes.
way.
Yes.
You know, we want to bow our heads and act like that's not what's going on. And now we're in such a society that we have to be careful about how we say it, because somebody else is going to be offended. But when you are the offender and have been that for the longest, you can't hide behind this new word that you're using as a shield, because we can't come for you. But you got to understand this thing. You've already not only done the wrong, but you've allowed that virus
Right.
to spread
That's right.
without it being addressed.
Right.
That everybody wants to be silent,
Yes.
because we talked about this, and there's some silent things going on
Absolutely.
that are so sad, and they're dark
Right.
within within families,
Yes. You're right.
within families where people get wounded.
Yes.
Absolutely.
You know, but the question is, again, where's the help?
That's right.
And that's why I was just going to ask. I was going to ask. When you guys talked about the generations, where you were with the generations. right?
Yes,
Okay, so
yes.
let me ask you and my mom.
Uh-huh.
When it came to you having something that you're dealing with in your life, was it therapists, counselors, who, see, and you're already, you already, I don't even got to finish, because you already know. Now, in your folks' generation, therapists, counselors, if you have something going on in your life, who would you, or is there someone that you would confide in and talk to?
Well, actually, no.
Okay.
Because first of all, what's done in this house,
Oh,
Stays in this house.
Stays in
right.
this house.
Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
it stays in the house. We don't want you out there talking our business amongst anyone.
Okay.
Yeah, it was hush hush.
See?
It was hush hush.
The hush.
Watch me now. But everybody knew.
Okay.
But it was hush hush.
Okay.
There's expressions that are hush hush.
Okay.
And you'll co-sign it. It's like you might have already told the story, but you can't co-sign it in front of the individual.
Okay.
And all they waiting for is that look.
Okay.
It's a silent look. It's a
Yeah.
hush hush look.
It's a-
But it's
yeah.
like,
Right.
it's a told you.
Right.
Ain't got to say nothing else.
Okay.
Take a look for yourself.
Okay.
You know, but our therapist, and it's like, and I say this openly,
Yes,
we call the pastor.
Okay.
that's right.
The real pastors
Okay.
are those that were called according to the purpose of God,
Okay.
Yes,
the sincere call of God.
Okay.
That's who we called.
yes,
And we had the power of prayer.
Okay.
And prayer changes things
Yes.
is a T-shirt
yes.
for somebody else. But until you've labored trying to deal with this, because my note on this right here was Ephesians 6:12. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against wickedness in high places. You know, and it's within the wickedness, because we talked about being on certain drugs, with them
Yes.
knowing the effects of that drug and watching it do what it did to you, unresponsive to what you were telling them that it did to you.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
that, and then we got this prime example. Stay up late enough at night, they'll be selling some type of drug for arthritis, and then they'll tell you the 29 different side
Right.
effects
Yes.
that
Amen.
go between it. And one of them was so funny, because one of the side effects was it could cause you to want to gamble. And I thought that was so funny, because it was so far off of what the drug was supposed to be able to help you with. But one of the side effects was a sudden desire to want to gamble. And I was like, does that mean I want to run in front of a car? And
Right.
do I want to pull the dice out and start shooting dice right here?
Right.
Or be like Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble when Fred had the betting addiction? You go, bet, 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 bet. So again, we don't know what to expect. And it seems like they don't know what to expect either.
You're
Right.
right.
You know, and who's taking notes on it?
Right.
Right. Yes. yes.
Right.
You know, that to bring about something that's going to affect us. Like you said, the hospital is needed.
Yes.
The ability to get to the medications in a right way is needed. Whether they need to go mobile,
Yes.
they need to go drone.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, the people need their meds so they can be themselves.
That's right.
You know, that's the whole part.
Yes.
You know, even to the alcoholic that's really bad, that has the shake, but all they need is a swallow,
Right.
Yes.
and suddenly they're better.
Right.
Yes.
You know, and this, I guess I'm really feeling myself in this day because we need better.
Right.
Yes.
And it starts. You have a voice.
Yes.
And you're airing your voice.
Yes.
And you're on the right medium.
Yes.
You know, that this could go forth.
Yes.
Whether TikTok survives or it doesn't, something like unto it's already there.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? So within that, we have to be that engaging process one for another.
That's right.
To applaud the effort.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
You know, I was already happy because I had caught it a couple of times going, now isn't that kind of interesting? You know, never thinking that I would end up here, you know, to meet the brothers that are behind all of this and to be a partaker in another piece that they're doing. You know what I'm saying? And then to know that what lies ahead is even greater. And I say that to you because you're front runners. And going back to those that did cable access back in the early days, the Pastor Mary Overstreet Smith, the evangelist Robinsons, amen. And there was 2 sets of evangelist Robinsons, so to both of the Robinson families that continue to put out consistent spiritual programming that we could uplift one another.
That's right.
But kind of flipping the script, looking at that timepiece and being able to just drop that nugget about what we're wrestling against right now. You know, wickedness in high places.
That's right.
Pay attention to what's going on in front of you because they don't care. And I love that term, the retina display. What you see, what you see is not good right now.
Right.
Everywhere is standing in need of help. It isn't just on Pennsylvania Avenue, but it's everywhere. Being corrupt is at an all-time high. You know, so rather than that, we need to reverse angles and let's again go to our knees.
Right.
Yes.
You know, seek first the kingdom of God.
That's right.
Because in our conversation, it was a God conversation.
That's right.
Because if it had not been for the Lord who was on your side,
right.
we wouldn't be here right now.
That's right.
Ooh, I'm finna
That's
jump
right.
up on the
Yes,
table.
you're right.
I'm about to
You're
jump
right.
up on the table.
Right.
Yes.
That's facts.
You're right.
See, look,
Facts.
and please feel how the temperature just
Yes.
changed in the
Yes.
room.
Right. You see, I had to
Yes.
shift.
Yes.
We
Yes.
we
You're
finna
right.
lose some stuff
Yeah.
up in
Right.
here.
Yes.
That's what's up, man. We done went there now.
Right.
We done
Yes.
broke through the ice.
That's right.
We done broke through the ice.
Right.
And one thing
Woo, glory.
I have to say
Yes,
is,
you do.
and I know people usually don't do this. When you're prescribed the medicine,
Watch out here.
and when you pick that medicine, that prescription up
Yeah.
from the pharmacy, the pharmacy does give you a readout
Oh, watch out.
of the
Right.
side effects.
Right.
Yes, you're right.
That
You're
paper,
right. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Now, how many people take out the time to read the side effects?
Yeah. Oh, you went somewhere.
When they give you that paper, it seems like it's a hassle.
Yeah.
That big book,
Yes.
all those papers,
yeah,
yes.
you just take it.
Yes.
And
So
you
on
just
about
put
your
it away.
Go
Yes.
on about your business.
Go and open up the bottle.
Yeah, get
So-
some water.
Yep.
My nugget today is whoever is watching us and listening to this podcast, whenever you're prescribed a medication, please read the information.
Yeah.
Because once you read some of the information, you'll be like, oh no,
Okay.
I'm not taking this.
Right.
I'm going to have to find another way.
We're going to have to talk about this.
Right.
Yes, because if we don't fight for our life, who will?
And medication is kind of unique. Cancer survivor, so I've dealt with a couple of different chemos. They had me on 3 different type of chemos. They had beat you up, slap you up, and try to kill you. You know what I'm saying? All at the same time. Made it through. I called it silver Kool-Aid, and we are a cancer survivor, and we're thankful for that. But again, we deal with medication and how it affects your body, and you have to be the spokesperson for you.
Right.
Even if they're not listening, at least say what you need to say, and hopefully have someone who's not under the thumb of the moment.
Right.
That can stand with you and say they're not feeling it and we're not going to deal with it.
Right.
Because surely there was chemo, but there also are some naturopathic ways that have been very effective for them that have been counted out, only given X amount of time, and they still here.
Right.
And the individual that gave them that diagnosis, they have left.
Right.
And they're all knowing they have left, but they're still here practicing that principle that brings them the promise. And it's most unique because you got to talking about side effects. which is so unique. I'm like, you're working with this one, Lord, right here. I was just thinking about the side effect of putting your trust in the name of Jesus.
Wow.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Surrendering what you're going through,
Yes.
because it gets hard sometimes,
Right.
Yes.
and it's personal.
Yes.
It's personal because in listening to Mom, I mean, our conversation was fantastic. I have
Yeah.
to tell you this.
Yes.
Just listening to it, knowing what they had gone through, and there was a few really
Man.
ouches in there, man. And that's another topic that we'll have
Yes.
opportunity to talk about
Yes.
too in the near
Yeah.
future. That just like, man, and these are the type of ouches, man, that can ruin it for everything.
Right.
In every way that you look. You might never look back up.
Right.
You can get caught in the crossfire.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And in that, you can be wounded in such a way that you can't even tell nobody. You know, you can't even tell nobody. So as we surrender, here I am, as broken and tough and all of this, and counted out as much as I was, and backs turned and all of that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We gain this strength because somewhere somebody said Jesus, and people are like, I don't even know, Lord, if you even exist right now. But here I am
Right.
in my messed up state, and this prescription got me tripping, and it's not me.
Right.
You feel me? I need you right now.
You're right.
Come on up in here. You know, and it's like, man, and Lord moves.
Right.
Yes.
You know, I'm not
Man.
trying to, in mysterious ways, His
Yes.
wonders to
Yes.
perform.
That's
We're
right.
sitting in the midst of a wonder right here.
That's right.
Because they wonder why it didn't take her out.
Yes.
Exactly.
You're
You see
right.
what I'm saying?
Yes.
They
Yes.
wonder.
Yes.
Because the odds were
Man.
against her, and they had
Man.
already counted to
Yes.
3.
Yes.
But in the wrestling match, you got to get to 3.
Yes.
You know, they body slam Hulk Hogan. They got 1, they got 2, but before 3, that hand went up.
That's right.
You understand? That's the whole thing, man. And then step by step, little by little, line upon line, precept upon precept, a little bit here and a little bit there.
That's right.
And look where we at.
Excellent.
And you didn't come by yourself.
That's right.
Huh?
Yes.
See what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And you got your own testimony
Yes.
because you was impacted.
Right.
She was affected,
Yes.
but you was impacted.
Absolutely.
See, it's effect and impact.
Yes. Yes.
They were talking about building an A-bomb and how long it took them to do it, and it had such a big crater and all of this right here. And they said they can't let it go in the air because it'll mess up too many people, but we'll put it underground.
Right.
And see, this is an underground move when they break you off inside and kill you inside.
Right.
That's right.
Oh, boy, I got, man,
Man.
ooh, you own something right here, man.
Man.
We rising, and that's the
Yes,
deal.
yes,
We're rising.
that's
I'm
right.
paying attention to the clock too. I guess.
Oh, no, you're good,
okay,
you're
I'm good.
good,
I'm
you're
good.
good,
Okay,
you're
okay,
good.
good,
Yes,
good,
yes,
good. I'm not gonna raise an offering, so don't worry about that part. Don't worry. He's gonna. But the offering is really you. There is an offering, and it's you. And what can you do? And I'm sure all of the contact information about what you do and what you hope to do is available,
Yes.
you know, within the crawl, as they say. That's TV talk for the role at the end of the show, information coming up, you know, within that right there, because it's when we work together,
That's simple.
when we work together.
Yes.
You know, like people talk about who did we go to? We went to the pastor.
Okay.
Yes.
Not to the pastor, and the pastor came over to the house, and Mom told him the circumstance, and then pastor would give us a compassionate word of understanding.
Yes.
You understand what? Because pastor they carried real crosses back in that time,
Yes.
and they might not have the PhDs and all of that, but what they did have was called the Holy Ghost. They had the gift of discernment.
Yes.
You understand? They had the power to lay hands and people were healed. This is real.
Right.
They can say it didn't happen, but that's what they always say, and they ain't gonna never be there when you get your breakthrough.
Right.
So within that, we gained encouragement. Now, Mom didn't kill us. She took it to the Lord.
Yes.
The Lord took it to the pastor.
Yes.
The pastor brought the words we needed to hear to let us know, because we had been violated,
Right.
Yes.
that we could survive.
That's right.
And that God was with us through it
You're
all.
right. Yes.
Oh, man,
Yes.
come on up in
Yes.
here, man. God was with us through it all.
Yes. You're right.
And we come out on the other end with no smoke on us.
Yes.
Right.
You're right.
You know, we done been through the fire. We done been through the fire.
Yes.
That's why we can sit here.
That's right.
Right.
You know, I'm not animated, but we done been through the fire.
We have.
Man.
And this is a catalyst, man. Everybody running around seeing the eclipse. Right now, what's being eclipsed is your yesterday
Yes.
Man.
is being eclipsed and washed away.
Yes.
Come on up. Oh, glory. The Spirit is moving up in here.
Yes.
Man, I ain't got nothing to do, but it's real, man. The eclipse is coming for a real. Old things have passed away.
That's right.
We are breath away from behold.
Yes.
He washing it, man. It's, washes that's it. It's over.
Yes.
Throw your hand across. That's it. Wash it out.
Yes. Man.
Whoa, man. They traveling from all around the world to get a glimpse of this.
Yes.
We're in an area where we can't see it,
Yes.
but we're gonna have to believe that it's happening. Woo, I'm on something. Lord, help us today. Help us today.
Amazing.
Help us today.
God is
Get ready for it.
Yes.
It's coming.
Yes.
That happens on Monday.
Yes. Monday.
Early in the morning on Monday.
Yes.
He got up when early. I felt that one. Yeah, that's real talk. That's look, he's knitted into everything, man. I don't know where that came from, but it needed to be said, man. It needed, because that man on Monday, on Monday, on Monday, the eclipse comes.
That's right.
The eclipse comes. Everything is but a testimony after this.
Amazing.
You're not embracing it. You can let it go.
Yes. Man.
You can let it go in the midst of your broken heart.
Yes. That's right.
Huh?
Yes.
Shattered a few dreams, let it go. So that the dreams can go on back up. They ain't stopped. They was just held up.
That's right.
So as you move, man, I don't know where this is coming, but it ain't me. As you move, we got to move with authority because we done been there.
That's right.
Have you been tried in the fire?
Yes. Yes.
Did you come out as pure gold? Yes. And your testimony is real because you've been there.
That's right.
You cried them tears.
That's right.
And you can stand on that part with authority.
Yes.
Not with no PhD. This ain't in no book.
That's right. It ain't in no book.
You had to taste this thing.
That's right. It's lived experience.
And survived. And survived.
Almighty.
Say it.
Almighty.
They tell me you was there. Yes.
Yes.
I was.
Yes.
I was.
How did you make it out?
That's right.
Do you have a minute?
Yes.
And they got to take the minute. If they don't have the minute, don't waste it.
That's right.
No more pearls before swine. Don't waste it with gum talkers. Sounding brass and tinkling cymbal. Don't waste it. You got to come to them that need it.
That's right.
And they know you're here.
Right. Yes.
If they ain't never seen you before, take a look at the camera and let them know what you look like. So that when they see you, they can come on up to you. You look like, I saw you on a podcast. That's all I remember. That preacher was on there going crazy. I'm like, yeah. But it's about what they're doing. The energy is in the room. There's no script. The battery just ran out. There's no script. There's no script. This is by the Spirit.
That's right.
And we're talking about mental health, mental illness. People that off their meds need to be on their meds, and how can they be helped living out here homeless on the street?
That's right.
As you said, having been given a tent and be on your way.
Yes.
A tent and some Cracker Jacks, and be on your way. And it's still cold outside.
It's still cold.
You understand? The whole thing might be triggered by the atmosphere.
That's right.
You might not do good when it's cold. You might not do good when it's hot.
Right.
We don't know what triggers what sends you.
That's right. Well, just imagine.
Come on.
If you're homeless
Glory.
and out on the street,
Mm-hmm.
I'm nervous sometimes being at home inside my house, thinking somebody might try to get in.
Huh.
So can you imagine somebody that's on the street that's trying to go to sleep at night?
Wow.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Rats.
Hello.
I mean, people
Uh-huh.
that's out there. How can you get a good night's sleep?
Right.
You can't.
Sleep is so important.
Uh-huh.
If you don't sleep
Uh-huh.
like you're supposed to do,
Yes.
your mind takes you to another place.
Yeah, sleep apnea is a cold thing.
Yes.
It really is.
Yes.
Right.
And so,
Ooh. And Grandma used to say too that an idle mind is a devil's playground.
The negative is easy to dwell upon. And let me for a minute, because we survived a lot of things. Let me tell you about sleeping in the doorway. Let me tell you about sleeping in the doorway with cardboard. You can make it. You can make it.
Yeah.
So within that, is as hard as it might seem, it's a part of the journey. But once again, we've been tried in the fire. Did we come out as pure gold? And the answer is yes. And we're not alone. You can too.
that's right. That's right. I am so happy. Thank you for everyone for looking and checking us out, listening to us, because this is the beginning.
Yeah.
This is the beginning of a change. We got to shift this.
Yes.
We got to shift it.
Yes.
Because the time is right. We're in 2024.
That's it.
God said, let me open the door. Open the door. Look inside to see all that I'm offering you.
Yes.
You just got to come in. Knock. Walk in.
Come on, the door shall be open.
Don't be scared.
No, seek and you shall find.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
That part.
we want to thank you for listening to What is the Little Girl Supposed to Do? Viewing What is the Little Girl Supposed to Do? And we want to thank JW Friday for being here. You can say what your last words are, what you would like to say to the audience. We appreciate you for sharing your time and your knowledge with us today.
Humbly honored to be with both of you as we begin this journey together, because I'm certain that we'll have fellowship again in the near future as we work on this solution, because I'm not trying to come any other way but to bring a solution.
Yes.
Not a program, but a solution.
That's right.
We're thankful today. You guys are magnificent. I want to say this once again because the Spirit is really dwelling on that. You're about to eclipse everything that you thought. It's tied into this whole thing. As the sun is darkened out and the moon passes in front of or behind, depending on where you're at, depending on what point in the galaxy, and I'll say that like that because he's that big. It's wiping out the yesterdays.
Yes.
That becomes the testimony.
Yes.
You'll never go back there again.
Never.
You'll never go back there again. And you're about to eclipse everything. And I say eclipse, that means rise above.
Yes.
Everything.
Yes.
Somebody say you're going to run a 10-10, you're going to run a 7-6. You see what I'm saying? So it's going to be even faster.
Yes.
So get ready to receive and remember this as I close.
Yeah.
To whom much is given, much is required. And if it's me closing, I'll say as we go through the week till victory is won, and as long as we got issues on Pennsylvania Avenue and we have the issues of mental health, let me tell you that life is what you make it, only you fake it. Bright Star family knows us as Daniel 12:3, and they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. Life is what you make it, only you fake it. God bless y'all, man. I had a marvelous time.
We loved it. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I
This
did
is
too.
Amazing.
Wow.
J-Dub.
He's a good
This
guy.
will
JW,
be
he
part
is.
1. We're going to do part 2.
Wow. Wow.
All right. We love you.
Wow.
And thank you.
Thank you.
So
Thank you
much.
so
Thank you,
much,
Queen.
Yes.
everyone. Yeah, yes, and continue riding with us through this journey. We're all examples. We're all products of this thing called life.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
We are all here. We are all living. We are all lived experiences.
Yes.
And you guys can't see him here, but one of my inspiring people, other than JW Friday, my uncle is here in the audience, and his name is Herbert Olive, my uncle.
Yep.
That is, they called him Herb. And he also has the title for being Mr. Portland.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah, that, and it's really funny because here's a cartoon visual.
Okay.
Little Abner.
Okay.
You remember that? Little Abner is an older cartoon, and what was so unique about Little Abner was how he was built, because he blew out from the waist up, arms, shoulders, legs. He was a strong, and he had a grandmother named Granny. It's kind of like a spinoff for the original Beverly Hillbillies, but
Okay.
I remember in his bodybuilding days.
Really?
And very much so. Very much so.
Oh my God.
Specimen.
Specimen?
Specimen.
Yes.
And
Not just Mr. Portland, specimen.
Man.
Matt Dishman Community
Yes,
Center.
yeah.
Come on up in here like I know something.
Man,
Yes,
man,
sir.
man.
I see you nodding his head out there. You know I'm telling the truth.
And
You know
I
I'm
asked him
telling
too. I
the
was like,
truth.
Uncle, I said, do you remember when you started like working out? Like that's a mental motivation.
Yeah.
He said one day he
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
and just one title.
He did.
My uncle has been through a journey. I swear, I love him so much. I tell him that I'm happy for his journey.
Whole nother story coming soon.
Oh my goodness.
Wrap it up.
Absolutely.
Bring it home.
Thank you for tuning in to What is a Little Girl Supposed to Do? Till next time.